Hello everybody and welcome to Obscurities in Miniature, and it's that Monday time of the week, which means it's time for our weekly painting progress. Should be Obscurities in progress. That's what my brother was saying, but we're going to start things off with the awfullest figure I painted this week, which was a hodgepodge mishmash of a Stargrave guy with a dead man's hand gunslinger head, and I'm not too pleased with that face. It is a travesty. Ooh boy. Yeah. No, I didn't do that whole lot of nice job on this guy, and I'm okay with that. I am going to have to go back and touch things up. As I've often mentioned, whenever I do these videos, I do like to see what things look like under the camera, under the spotlight, and displayed in a nice high definition on my big, 14, 17-inch monitor, whatever it is. I don't know my numbers, obviously. But seeing my handiwork all blown up, nice and sloppy is always a sight to behold. But thankfully, I can go back and fix that whenever I feel like it. So just a quick combination to see if parts worked, which they did, but I think we're going to have to go back and fix him up. Sadly, I didn't get anything from my brother this week in terms of painted stuff. He was too busy playing video games. But he did give me some new files to print for him, so hopefully that will spur him on to further heights and greater paint jobs, which we will happily share with everyone. So what else did I do this week? Not much. Let's grab something. I'm just like toying with things here. A couple of Artisan Studio sculpts. So this was from like their full-on Monster Hunter style figures, and I'm not super pleased with most of it. I mean, obviously it's super zoomed in, and from a distance I'm sure it'll look okay. But I'm pretty sure he's supposed to have the old Monster Hunter one, or Freedom portable Lao Shanlong style samurai armor, which I'm assuming probably ended up in the later ones. I can't remember. It just didn't tend to be one of the armor sets that I used very often. The details, and I'll chalk this one up to me, were kind of blah in some spots, kind of mushy. But usually Artisan Studio sculpts are quite sharp. I would imagine if you ordered one of their cast versions of this guy, if they offer them up, it would look a lot better. But I love the ridiculous longsword. Always been a fan of the longsword in Monster Hunter. How that's going to fit into the sheath, I have no clue. There's just no way possible. It's like that Broken Anvil Raijin model I have, where the sword is far too long for the scabbard that he has on. But it's a nice little samurai figure. I did have to put him on a 32mm base. He's got quite the wide stance, and even still doesn't really fit all the way on that base. But Artisan Studio is always good for nice, solid sculpting models. I wish, being at least the time that I put this up at early November, just had my son's birthday, in fact, they haven't put up the new October files yet, and they've got some really nice looking Final Fantasy inspired monster designs and Soul Calibur stuff, both of which I've been a long time fan of. So obviously we're gonna have to have those on the channel too. So that's one of the Artisan Studio models, and then I think she was part of the Myth Explorers line. Again, I didn't do the best paint job. That's okay. I botched over one of her eyes, and I figured, you know what? She's a pirate. Why not just give her an eye patch, right? I think it kind of works for her. Again, I know it's super zoomed in. I want to say it's actually an Artisan Guild base. Judging by the skull sitting there, that is definitely Andrea's style. I tried to get the hand that is kind of hidden away inside the coat there, but it's just so unnoticeable on camera, it doesn't even matter. See, from a distance, I think it looks quite decent. It's when you get all zoomed in and can see all of the horrible splotchiness and marred paint splatters, then it becomes more apparent as to how in a rush I can be at times. And I probably should have done something with those hands. It looks very flat and squarish. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to them hurrying up and releasing those sculpts. Hint, hint, Artisan Studio, get those files released. I would like to build them. And funny thing is, I fought all week with my printer, and nothing got printed except like bits and pieces. I did manage to squeeze off a few models, but finally, after bugging everybody on Reddit, I kind of figured out. Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but at least it's working again. Anyways, speaking of Andrea and Artisan Guild, I know somebody had mentioned the model with the 2 crossbows from their recent Wolfen Inquisitor Witch Hunter type models, and this was their sexy pinup model, and there is a more scantily clad one. I don't know if she's actually wearing anything, but if you want a hooded Avenger type lady, it's actually a pretty cool model. She is attached to the Wolf Gargoyle thing. Now, the Wolf Gargoyle is not actually attached to that base, but obviously that's the one she came with. And unfortunately, I put her Inquisitor friend away. I'd stuck her up on those YouTube short things. My kids have been nagging me, you should do the shorts. So I finally, with all that fat loot money I'm getting from Google, figure we can splurge and buy like a $5 turntable off of Amazon. So we got that. If there's anything you guys actually want me to stick on that turntable and put up, let me know, because it's not like it takes all that much time, and you know, it's a nice little way to show off some of the painted stuff. And there's been a lot of painted models on this channel since its inception, so anything in particular you want to see, by all means let me know. There's a good chance either I've already painted it or I might get it painted. Alright, another of Inkman's models. This one was coming out great as I'm looking at it, and then I noticed that there are some misprints, especially when you look at her jacket on the back. Now, that didn't deter me. I figured I'm going to give it a shot anyway, but once I saw it, I kind of got bummed out and didn't really put the effort into removing those supports as nicely as I should have. It is always nice to see an artist grow and continue to improve. I know I showed off, like, his White Fang sculpt that he did a while back, and you can see here, I mean, and I'm not trying to, you know, discredit or knock the artist by any means, because it's not like I can do a decent job, but the, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Polygons and stuff. The geometry. The geometry of the character is a lot more squared off, and I really need to fix him up because I didn't do a good job on it, but, you know, it's very angular, very linear, very broken up into polygons, but I gotta say, this is much smoother, much more natural, so it is very cool to see artists continue to grow. So kudos to Mr. Inkman's minis in that regard. Now, let's get some Digimon instead of other stuff, because I want to paint some, instead of overpriced Bandai kits while I'm waiting for Alphamon. Anyway. Something I've been meaning to get around to and just didn't, and this is one of the Buster armors from Puppets War. Works are always wearing red, so I thought, let's do one in a different color. I did a really blah job on those highlights. They're very obvious and apparent, and again, I know it's all super zoomed in, but I like the heft of this thing. He is not hollow or anything. It's on a 40mm base. I feel like they offered these up originally in resin, like cast resin, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure now. But they have all sorts of interesting little parts, and like most of the Puppets War kits, they are all totally modular and compatible with each other. And they've been going hog wild with those Space Samurai chapter types, and I've got to get around to painting some, or finishing building some, but yeah. Alright, and speaking of Samurai, as I've been trying to clear space for Blackforge designs, I think it's designed Blackforge, the big Tenjin model I showed off a while back, and they had their Minotaurs, which actually I am almost finished printing. I just need to do the base. While I wait on getting Tenjin done and started, more likely, I've been trying to get this guy finished. Now, I've had this model. This is from Titanforge, and I don't even know its name because it was released before I think it even had a name. It was just like 6-month loyalty reward. And there are different blues, and they're not really coming out apparently clearly on camera, but that's okay. But there was this model, and then he had like a little brother porter standard bearer type that was tagging along with him. And I think I first posted this guy in August of 2020. I was digging through old videos trying to find out. I think I put like Samurai Kodai or something. And I don't know how many revisions he's been through. Oh, crap. I thought I fixed that up on the back. How many different paint schemes. But finally, we just went ahead and did something to get it done. I thought I painted his eyes. Maybe I didn't. Like, I didn't even realize at first he's got like these severed heads hanging all over him. Kind of gruesome. But I wanted to do something really simple. Tried to paint like all the little talismans hanging off of him. There were some print errors as well. Right here, I don't know what happened with the paint. But there was a little bit of a hiccup, I guess. Of course, that was on my original Sonic Mini, I think. It wasn't even a 2K. I don't even know if the 2Ks were released at the time. But he's finally done. His porter, brother, buddy, friend. Can't say the same for it, but at least one of the two are finished, and hopefully we'll finally get around to finishing up the others. So I'm happy about that. I don't know, this week for me, other than the fact that my printer was driving me nuts and we had to get ready for my son's birthday, because he turned 16 and is not in any hurry to get his driver's license, unfortunately, which I have to keep nagging him about. But no, we were like waiting and waiting for his gifts to arrive in the mail, because naturally everything had to be ordered from Japan with him. And thankfully everything did arrive. But my motivation this week was not there. I think my attention was elsewhere. But I am proud of the fact that I still got a nice little haul. Obviously nothing like some of you with your hundreds and thousands of stuff finished in 1 week, but some of you guys are more insane than I am, so I respect that. I respect and fear that. But no, it's all good. Like I said, hopefully we were going to get started on some of those big items in the way and wrap up a few more of my Kingdom Death models. I still need to finish up one more of the Halloween survivors from last year, so that's going to be my current challenge along with the big Tenjin. So, as I was saying earlier, anything you guys want to see, painted stuff especially, let me know. Drop it in the comments below. It's not like I don't usually check those whenever I have a free moment at recess or after school when I'm waiting for my kids, because they get out like an hour and a half after me and I'm like bored out of my skull once I have everything to do done for the day. So anyways, I'm rambling. As always, we'll have those links down below if you guys want to try tracking down any of these figures, paint them yourselves, do a better job, show them off to me, put that hashtag weekly painting progress somewhere on social media and I will inevitably come across it, and we're going to make that happen. So yeah. With that said, though, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.